So I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel more influenced by algorithms than I would like to be. I feel like algorithms determine a little bit too much in terms of what media I am consuming, etc. So I tried a while back doing a 1 month algorithm free challenge, and I decided that I also want to do that for the month of June. So I'm gonna go through what I do for this challenge, how I kind of set the rules for myself, why I like to do this, and what I find going through it. So firstly, let's talk about why I like to do this challenge. So for one, I think I have a complicated relationship with algorithms. I hate them sometimes. I hate that so much of what we are shown is based on guesses about what we're going to want and just assumptions based on data that's being collected from us. And I hate that that can influence so much of the time and attention that I'm spending on the internet. But I have found some really great things from the algorithms. I have found things that I really enjoy because of algorithms. So it's like, I don't love the idea of cutting them out completely, but I do like the idea of stepping away from them sometimes and getting more involved in the choices that I make in terms of media consumption. And I do find that algorithms do have me spending time on things that don't add value to my life. They aren't things that, upon reflection, I feel great about spending time with, basically. So yeah, it's just kind of a break. It's not anything super strict. If I mess up, it's not the end of the world. It's more about a little bit of a mindset shift and a little bit of an awareness shift. Let's talk about my rules for myself. So for me, I do still allow myself to use things like YouTube, things like Reddit, but I make myself be more intentional about my use. So I don't allow myself to watch things based on my home tab. I can look at things from my subscriptions. I can look at things by looking up a specific user, by searching for a specific thing. That is fine. The YouTube search is not great in terms of actually showing you what you want to see. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but what the heck? Why is it that when I search something in YouTube, it's like I get a few things that are actually related to what I want to find, and then I get other things that are just totally unrelated? So rude. If there's a way to turn that off, I need to figure that out. Or I guess I have to use a external search to get to a YouTube video. I don't know. It's so stupid. I do allow myself to look at things that are curated by humans. So if somebody sends me a message on Instagram, I will check those occasionally. That's like a personalized Instagram feed, which I don't count as an algorithm. For listening to music on my music app, I don't look at that first page that has all of the junk of, hey, listen to this playlist, hey, listen to this new thing. I make myself be more intentional about the music that I'm listening to. So I'll just have to think of an artist, or I'll have to go through albums that I have saved or artists that I have saved. So it just forces me to be a little bit more intentional again about what I'm listening to. I will if I am not feeling like that, but I do want to listen to music without having me choosing what the music is. I do allow myself to listen to a radio station that I know is curated in terms of what you're listening to based on listener requests and based on humans that are making these playlists. And I do these challenges for a month. So I did it for a month last time. I'm going to do it for a month this time. And you can totally make your own times that you're doing this. You could try it for a week. You could try it for a couple days. You could try it for longer than a month if you wanted. The month is kind of a good amount of time for me to step away from using these algorithms while also not having extreme FOMO, which I know is stupid. It's so stupid that I even feel that way. But there are a few things that I really do having, that algorithms actually are really good at helping me to discover or to see. So it's I don't know. Some of these rules might sound kind of silly, but I feel like they're not super strict, right? They're more about finding workarounds to actually be a little bit more intentional about what I'm consuming and being a little bit more focused on creators, honestly, because then I'm like, okay, who do I actually want to see things from? Who do I want to be supporting? The point of this isn't so that it feels like you're isolated. It's not to make you feel like this is inaccessible. And that's what I really think works well with how I do this challenge. It's not about like totally cutting yourself off from these things, because there are people who like totally do that. But then sometimes you're like replacing one thing with another. So I think it's less about like the absoluteness of like saying, okay, quit any social media, quit whatever websites that you sometimes go on. It's more about being mindful about when you're spending that time and about what you maybe would rather do. There's a few things that I noticed from the first time around that I think will probably still occur this second time as well. There's times where like I will pick up my phone to like go look at something, and I'll just like open my like first tab on my phone, and then I'll decide I don't actually know what I want to look at. Because with this challenge, I have that tiny bit of resistance. I am able to realize how often I do that, right? Where I'm picking something up mostly for a distraction or to spend time looking at something that isn't the world around me. So it just helps me to be aware of when that's happening. And then sometimes, because I realize I actually don't even know what I want to look at, I will just pull up a book instead, or I will just do something else. I also caught myself a few times where there were times that I would open something and then I would just click on like something without even really realizing what I clicked on. One area I do sometimes feel a little out of the loop with doing this challenge is in regards to just like keeping up to date with things going on, because I don't intentionally take in a lot of news. I had to like ask my partner to like let me know of things that he thinks that he sees that he actually thinks are good for me to know. So that is one area that I guess I have noticed a little bit of a deficit in when doing this challenge. So I have finished my second algorithm-free month, and I thought I would just share a few little things that I wrote down to just add to this video. So firstly, I am kind of ashamed to admit how easy it is to slip back into using algorithms after a challenge like this. Like, yes, I think I'm still a little bit more mindful than I was, specifically at like things that are tempting me. Like I'm kind of thinking about them a little bit more, and I would say I'm like still probably consuming a little less than I was before, but I still feel that call, I guess. And there are certain things that I did feel like FOMO from, specifically like say music releases and stuff where I wouldn't necessarily know about them if it wasn't for algorithms. So it's where I kind of think I might want to try doing like alternating months or something where I do like an algorithm free month and then do consume from algorithms as I want to kind of thing, and then maybe do another algorithm free month. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do monthly, maybe I'll do like every few weeks. But I do like the idea of just playing with restricting my algorithm use at least certain times. Let me know if you have found any kind of solutions or challenges that work really well for you. It's not about being mean to ourselves. We have so much stuff all around us that is asking us to pay attention to things. And I just think it is good to be mindful of the things that are kind of taking our attention. But I don't think we should be, mean to ourselves, because this is the world that we live in. We are getting information tossed at us from everywhere, misinformation tossed at us everywhere. And so it's good to take a step back and assess what's going on and just be mindful about where we are spending our attention. So one other thing is, if I was like hanging out with somebody, I would not enforce like that, hey, we're just like trying to find something to watch and this thing came up on an algorithm. That as I'm like hanging out with somebody, I'm not going to be weird about that. So I think you do have to like obviously just do things that make sense. Like, yeah, if you're hanging out with somebody and they're picking something to watch from an algorithm, then I don't count that. So don't be like super purist about it, in my opinion. I think that's kind of silly. One other thing I would recommend is having a book or something close by to you that you do want to spend time doing, that you do want to prioritize, so that when you have those moments where you instinctively want to look at something from an algorithm, that you can instead maybe read a book or play a game or do something that feels like a little bit better for you as a person. Yeah, just try to have things set up so that it's less difficult for you. I do think it's good to also just sit with discomfort and realize, hey, I want to be looking at my phone right now, but I don't have to be. I think there's situations where the sitting with the discomfort is a good thing. And I think there's also times where you're like, I'm just waiting for something or whatever, and I really would like to read my book. I would actually prefer to prioritize that than do that. I will say, like I said earlier, it is kind of hard to keep up with certain things. I do feel a little out of the loop with certain things. My sister was just like mentioning alligator Alcatraz to me the other day, and I was like, I don't even know what that is. I had never heard of it. So I clearly have been a little bit out of the loop for new stuff. But I also don't totally hate that because we have so much stuff coming at us all the time, and I don't think it's great for us mentally. In terms of our mental health, I think there's only so much news we should be taking in. I know we also have to be like aware of what's going on in the world, but I don't know how to find that balance. That's a whole other issue. Um, I do really like this challenge and I do want to continue to do it at different times. I am going to start another challenge, or I did start it as of yesterday, where I force myself to comment on every YouTube video that I watch for a month. And I'm hoping that with that, I am just more mindful about what things I'm clicking on, because I'm not going to click on something that I don't think I would want to leave a positive comment on, because I'm only allowing myself to comment things that are actually like comments that say something and they have to be positive. But part of why I want to do that is to, again, be more mindful about what I am consuming. In this way, I can consume things from an algorithm, but I do also have to be like, does this sound like something that I would like to promote with a comment? Does this sound like something that I will have something insightful to add to the conversation? So just kind of an interesting way to play with what I'm consuming. And I also want to just get myself more comfortable with making more comments, because it's something I like when I get positive comments, but I am not always the best at instinctively leaving comments. This will kind of force me to like even sit with something a little longer than, instantly consuming something else. If I don't have something to say right away, I have to come up with something. So I might have to sit and think out what I would want to say. So just playing with getting myself better at leaving comments and also playing with how I am consuming content. So let me know if you have any other challenges that kind of sound up my alley with this kind of stuff, or if you've ever tried something like this, or if this has inspired you to maybe do your own challenge, because that would be really cool. Thanks so much for joining and take care. Bye.